What are you really wanting when you have a desire? Stay tuned. This is Damon Cart from NLP Gym, NLP Mind Hack, fulfilling your desires instantaneously. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Ever wonder what is the nature of our desires? Where do desires come from? Most of us never stop to think about why we want something, and not necessarily why we want that particular thing, but why do we want anything at all? Once our basic needs are taken care of, like food, water, shelter, and we feel really secure about having those things, that we're not afraid that we're going to lose these things, we continue to desire. And I started thinking about that, and why is that? Why is it when we have our essentials fulfilled that we still continue to desire? I heard Robert Dilts once say that if you don't want anything, NLP really can't help you. The technology of NLP is sort of the technology of desire, or rather the technology of fulfilling your desires. A lot of religions and philosophies have negative things to say about desire, and this is kind of what put me off of Eastern philosophies and religions, is because I don't think of desire as being something that's bad. I really think of desire as being something neutral. You can certainly do things that are bad that come from certain desires. I just don't think that desire itself is a negative or a positive thing. I think from desire we can create something positive, or we can create something negative. And upon closer look, or looking more into Eastern philosophies and religions, I don't think that what they're saying necessarily is that desire is bad. I think what they're pointing at is that desire can point at a problem, or indicate that there is a problem. There is a suffering, or that you're not completely whole. If your sense of desire is that something within you is missing, and that you must seek something outside of yourself rather than from within, and that you're going to find something outside of yourself that is suddenly going to make you feel fulfilled, that will lead to suffering. Because even when you get the thing, temporarily you might feel fulfilled because you put so much meaning on that, but eventually you'll discover that that's not the source of fulfillment. Getting the object or the outcome, the external object or outcome, or even if it's validation from outside, is not going to ultimately fulfill you, because you're dependent on something that's not from within in order to have that fulfillment, and that's not really what fulfillment is. In other words, if your sense of desire comes from a lack of wholeness, you will suffer. However, if your sense of desire just comes from an understanding, an awareness, or a recognition of unfulfilled potential, now that becomes something very, very different. You don't have to suffer to experience desire in that way. That's when desire becomes exciting. Desire, in that case, is what drives innovation. It's the engine behind all the wonderful things that we've created. There doesn't have to be we don't have to create from suffering. We can create from that desire of fulfilling potential. The DNA of NLP, so to speak, starts with recognizing that there's something you want, and that's what we call the desired state. And in recognizing the desired state, we recognize that we have what we call our present state. It's the state of not having what it is that we want, which is right now. Then we go into discovering what the resource is that keeps us from that desired state. And in NLP, there's a presupposition that states we have all the resources we need to succeed. They're all within us. We just have to become aware of them. Perhaps we're keeping them from ourselves by being unconscious of them. So what we need to do is go in and locate that resource and give it back to ourselves. And that can be done just by coming up with a time when we had that resource, or experienced that resource, to access that resource again. You plug in that resource and suddenly you experience your desired state. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, well, I want $1 million. And just because I put myself in the state of feeling like I have $1 million, that's not going to get me $1 million. That's not going to put numbers in my bank account. That's not going to fulfill me because I want the money. But when you think about what it is you want, It's not necessarily the object that you want or the outcome that you want. It's more about the meaning you put on the object or the thing, and that what value you think that will provide you, what value you think that will fulfill inside of you. Because if you think about it, really green pieces of paper or large numbers in your bank account on their own, isolated from you giving it meaning, is meaningless. It doesn't do anything for you. It's the meaning you put onto that, and that meaning comes from you. In other words, when you think you want something, it's not really the thing. It's the meaning you've placed on it. It's what you think that thing will give you or make you feel. It's more about what you think it will make you feel or the state that it will put you in. If this weren't true, human beings wouldn't be the complicated and sophisticated creatures that we are. We would just all want the same thing. And we know that's not true. We all want different things because we all have different ways of making meaning, and we all project different meanings onto reality, to other people, to other objects. You really can fulfill any desire you have right now, this very moment. And it starts with understanding what it is you want, and not just what you want, like the object or the outcome. What is the desired state or the value you're wanting to fulfill? Once you understand that, and then you also want to become aware of what are you experiencing right now. What are you experiencing right now versus what you want? And that should give you a clue as to what is the resource that's missing. What is the resource within you that you're not connecting with? Get in touch with that resource, and it may be by thinking of a time when you experienced having that resource so that you can access it. It'll be something you feel in your body. All of our feelings are in our body, and you can connect with that. And once you have that, it's not that you won't have a desire anymore, it's that your desire will suddenly shift into a recognition of unfulfilled potential. And that's really exciting. Now it becomes about going after what you want, not a matter of lack or scarcity or of not being a whole person. And here's the thing, you might still be saying, well, I still don't really have what I want. It's great if I can make myself feel better, sure, but I don't really have what I want. True, you might not have the object, you might not have the money, you might not have the outcome, whatever it is. However, what you can do is come from a place of abundance rather than lack and scarcity. When you connect with that resource and you put yourself in the desired state, you're far more likely to attract and create what it is that you want, rather than coming from a place of scarcity or of lack, and I don't have what I want, and I don't feel whole, I feel less of a person. You're never going to get to where you want. You're never going to create the outcome you want or get the object or the money coming from that. And if you do, it's not going to fulfill you. It might land in your lap, but you're not going to get the fulfillment that you want out of it. That you have to give to yourself. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. Follow us on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops and free practice sessions that I hold right here in Santa Cruz, California. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave me a comment or a question. I will follow up with you. Let me know what your biggest frustration is. What is the problem you're working through? What is it you want? If I can help you out, I'd be happy to. Stay tuned to the end of this video so you can see how you can get your hands on a free NLP online training. Take care.